do you think that the NBA news now is more like a tabloid? In New York, we have Page Six. It's like
But
TMZ.
I gotta tell you something about the way the NBA is covered today, man. And I'm taking my hat off for this.
Yeah,
No, see, I'm kind of in the NBA media right now. Like, and
not
you
kind of,
read,
man. Don't tell me because they should be reading your articles. I have beef with you with this top 20 small forwards of the
bro,
2000.
I don't pick that. I don't pick that.
Oh,
I gotta
okay.
write what my boss tells me to write. Something. Oh, you mean the top 10 small forwards of the 2000s?
Yes, top
Oh,
10. I'm sorry.
that was all me. That was all me.
So before we get there, I'm sorry, real quick. Yeah, NBA news being tabloid media. I think you
Yeah,
have you
everything's
have
all about who can get the most clicks, who can get the most views, and in order to do that, NBA fans, I want to say most because we're not like most fans, me, you, Dime, Coach, some
yeah.
other of our Twitter, people. We aren't like most fans, but most fans, they don't care about the sport of it. The passion and the love for the game isn't there anymore. This is about being entertained now. This is about comedy and hot takes and all that kind of stuff. And that's what gets everybody's attention. And the authenticity of people and what they really feel in their minds and their hearts about the game of basketball has faded away. And that's my problem with the media. So yes, you're absolutely right. It has turned into the National Enquirer in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just make stuff up. Oh, I feel this way. This is my opinion, but we're going to present it as facts. And that's a huge issue with all sports media, but it's a glaring issue in NBA media.
And I think when you write your top 10, even though I disagree with, let's say, Ronald Peja Stojakovic, I love Peja. He's too high when Marion and Artest, they contributed, and Grant Hill contributed to all their teams when
Well,
they
Grant Hill wasn't himself in Orlando.
right. When he was healthy, he
He was
contributed.
all right. He was all right, but Peja
Right.
was almost an MVP.
Yeah. Peja was that step back move is not talked about. He almost forgotten about as a shooter. He was amazing. The NBA, the 2K Sacramento Kings, when you play them on NBA 2K,
Well,
they
he
were
couldn't miss.
unbelievable.
Couldn't miss.
It was crazy.
I
But
used to even throw it to him on the Mavs when he was back with the Mavs in 2011. And I was playing 2K on like the original Xbox, or it was NBA Live on the original Xbox.
the Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast, that's what it was. It was the first. It was the first system that I could remember that went online. It went
Yeah,
online. But I think going back to what we were just saying, that's my point. We can argue about that without even if we get heated, but we know what the hell we're saying right now. And I used to feel like
and I'm not going to trash Ron Artest to make Peja Stojakovic look better. I don't need to. I can use facts in my argument. I don't need to be like, but he was a shitty dribbler. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't handle the rock. He couldn't create his own shot. First of all, Peja could create his own shot because when defenders would cheat on him on the perimeter, he'd go right by him. But I don't need to talk like that. And that's why I don't talk about the MJ LeBron debate at all. Is because it has turned into a hissy fit between fan bases. It's not even a debate about basketball anymore. They're bringing the fact that this man smokes cigars and gambles on golf into a freaking basketball debate. You know what I mean? Like, why is that being brought up in a basketball debate? Why is the fact that he's not really a good team owner being brought into the fact that he can the way he played basketball?
I think I'm okay with that because I'm okay with just having these thoughts and thinking out loud with us. If you have
Yeah,
you have
that's different,
like-minded
man.
people around, yeah,
With that barbershop talk. You know what I'm
right.
saying? That's like, oh man, like Jordan cheated on his wife 35 times. Yeah, but that don't affect his basketball play. Come on, that doesn't take away from who he was as a basketball player. Oh, LeBron opened a school. That doesn't add to his legacy as a basketball player. Although it does add to his legacy as a human.
Yeah.
Because LeBron is a great human. And like, I'm not a disrespectful Jordan fan. I think here's my view on the GOAT debate. I have MJ as my GOAT. I'm really biased when it comes to it because I think, as you know, I lost my brother almost a year ago, and he was a huge Michael Jordan fan. Had a Michael Jordan tattoo on his back,
God bless.
all that stuff. So I don't think I'll ever be, that's my GOAT. It's kind of like Allen Iverson, right? That's my GOAT forever. But LeBron James, look, if you have him as your GOAT, I ain't mad at you. You got to present your argument in an intelligent manner. You got to present your argument using facts, and don't like bring your opinion into it. You know what I'm saying? So
I think, yeah, and I know we gotta get shut this down real quick. I got Mike as the GOAT, and I think you can cut their careers and split it in half. You look at their first half of their careers, look at the second half of their careers. I can never, and maybe it's not an opinion for me. I could never say, this was Michael Jordan's. Like, he didn't try, the effort wasn't there, or the defense was like outsmarted him. Like for LeBron, it took a while to get his half court game in sync, and when he did, that's when the comparison can be made. He's too big. I think he's more talented than Jordan. He's the most talented player I've ever seen. So once you have a high IQ level, or athlete on that level, it's now we can talk.
No,
but
he's like a more athletic, more physically gifted, and just he's Magic Johnson on the most amount of steroids that you can think of. Like he's Magic Johnson on Mark McGuire in the '90s steroids. You know what I mean? Like that's it. But a better
Here's
scorer.
My thing.
You know how I he's almost on the same level as a facilitator. Although, hold on, Magic Johnson is the best I have ever watched run a transition offense. The best. I don't even think I've. And it's not about fancy passes. His court vision was crazy.
Him or Kid? You got him over Kid.
Easy. Oh, I think Magic Johnson's the best playmaker ever.
Yeah.
I think he's the best playmaker of all time. And you know what? Kid's in that conversation. LeBron is in that conversation. I think you got to give love to Nash in that conversation. Yes. When he had Amari and Marion, I think that, that was obviously Nash at his best, 2-time MVP.
Right.
Although, that's a conversation for another day. But, so I think that conversation can go on forever. I give a lot more love to Stockton than a lot of people do these days. I think a lot of people have the false impression that Stockton just dumped the ball to Malone and that was his entire career, which is just completely untrue. I've got like 20 minutes of footage of John Stockton hitting Jeff Hornacek with dimes, like cutting to the basket. Or who was there early in his career? Donyell Marshall. John Stockton made Donyell Marshall look like a freaking all-star on the court, so.
Donyell Marshall was there that early with Utah?
Yeah, yep. He shared the floor with Karl Malone.
Okay, I'm thinking of Antoine Carr.
He was more Cleveland, wasn't
he? Yeah, the big dog probably, and then he probably got there a little later.
Don't they call Antoine Carr Mr. Oh, that's Austin Carr. Sorry,
Austin Carr.
Yeah,
but you're right, and I did. I think we touched everything. I want to talk about Draymond, but that would be like, what is there to really say? Because I think it was going back to the whole tabloid thing and where we are. Like, I get it, fights do happen. But he's not on my team. He's not on your team.
I will say this. You wouldn't see an opponent run onto the court during a dead ball and hug the other, a guy from the other team 20 years ago. You just wouldn't see that.
So when we say, because that's the polarizing part about it. I love the wrestling aspect of it. I know I
love his intensity. I love his energy on the court. I think he's one of the most important players. You could argue that he's like the second most important player to that Warriors dynasty. The offense don't look the same when he's not on the floor. The defense don't look the same when he's not on the floor. He is a conductor. He's an orchestrator. He moves people. He's a communicator on the floor. You see him pulling these young guys to the side every possession on both sides of the floor. He is so involved with the game. He's so smart, and I don't think his IQ, what he does off of the court should affect how we view him on the court. But you're right. That's back to the tabloid stuff.
Because again, going back to Bob Myers, general manager, front office, Joe Lacob, they realized they knew exactly what they were dealing with. And they knew, hey, actually, we're keeping that. Because everything you just said, off the court, what we don't see on camera, Draymond represents that. It weighs that much on them that they're like, yeah, we need this more than we need. Maybe we need Kevin Durant. He's leaving anyway. So we need this guy who's ultimately loyal. We can use each other.